Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Vijay and this is an introduction video to our new Python Mastery series. You might be wondering, we already had a Python fundamental series, then what is the need of a new Python series again? So the previous series was just an introduction to the Python. We haven't gone in much depth on that videos, and that was just to give you a starting point and we revolved all the topics around student management mini software project that we built in that series. In this series, we will be touching each topic in more depth, and we will be covering topics from foundational part like variables, data type, condition, loops, till the oops part where people generally are afraid of. But trust me, that topics are not that much difficult. And once you watch the video, practice it, you will definitely get a grip of that topics, and that will stay with you for the lifetime. And we will be also covering the behind the scenes of the Python. Whenever you write a code, execute it, what happens in the backend, that also we will be covering in this series to get a better understanding of the Python. And as a Python developer, we will be taking the approach thinking in that way only. We will not just be coding to just complete a project or a series, but we will be getting a technical part also, that what is happening in the backend. Okay, and the approach that we will be taking throughout the series will be code friendly. We will be keeping the series in such a way that we code more and less theory, so that we get a practical knowledge how the things are executed, and what is the output that we get if there is any changes or any real-time situation that we get during our projects. So that we will be keeping in mind, and we will keep a code-friendly approach. And talking about the prerequisite of this series, we will be keeping assumption that you haven't done any coding in your life, and we will go from beginner to the advanced level. So the only prerequisite I will demand from your side is have a cup of tea or coffee as per your preference. My personal preference is tea, so have that. And we will be learning this Python language in a very fun way, in a very coding side we will be exploring. So have that approach. Okay, and I would say don't only just watch the videos, also practices, because uh, coding is more like swimming, where watching won't give you the knowledge, but also you need to practice, and that will give you the confidence that you know the language. When you make the mistake, you will understand to rectify it. Everything that will you will get when you actually code it. So keep a habit of coding whenever we are learning something. So that I would request you to do along with me during the videos. And talking about Python, this series. So let's start with a small story of mine. So when I started the my college engineering, I got the first introduction to the programming. That was the C programming language, and honestly, I didn't enjoy it that much. Maybe the way it was introduced to me was not the correct way, and I was not much interested in the programming. So when I got to the job, I was a knock engineer where people were writing some automation scripts and everything. And then again, I was introduced to the programming. They were writing the scripts in the Python. That was my first introduction to the Python language. I wrote the Python scripts, uh, and there were some errors that like indentation error, all that I fixed. I wrote like plain English. They were algorithms I was converting. Okay, so I found that a very easy language. Definitely, I didn't learn in a very depth, but I found that this language is very easy, and this should be the first programming language for every person who is willing to learn programming, because this is very beginner friendly, and you will feel that you are writing uh, plain English language only. Just you have to learn some indentation and everything, and that will give you a very good amount of knowledge of Python. Okay, so that was a small story from my side. Then when I got the interest, I studied Python, and also I practiced about it. I get to know that the language is not that much difficult, and just the concept has to be learned with the practice. Okay. So coming back to the learning part, so throughout this series, how we will be operating, I first start with the setup part. So whenever I have to explain a topic, I will go to my whiteboard, or precisely I would say a blackboard. Here I will be explaining all the topics that whatever we need to explain. Like if I just give you an, so like this, I can explain you any topics. Okay. And whenever we have to code, we will be writing the code in the VS Code. So VS Code is a globally used IDE that is very popular and a lightweight IDE. So we will be using this throughout the series. And in case you haven't installed Python, or you haven't done the installation of VS Code, so the videos are already on the channel, and you can install Python and configure the VS Code before starting this series. They are very straightforward, and not much headache are there in the installation part. But yes, the videos are available for your reference in case you face any difficulties. And starting with the question, in today's video we won't be coding that much. We will start with a question: what is programming and why to learn Python, basically. So let's begin with that question. Okay. So if I go to my blackboard, so if I have to write what is programming. Okay. So programming is nothing but giving an instruction to the computer. So let's say if you have to give an instruction to a person, you need to know the language like Hindi, English, or some language, a language that the other person can understand. In similar way, the computers cannot understand the human language. We have to give the instruction to them, and we can give that instruction using the programming languages. So there are multiple programming languages in the market like Java, Python, C, C++. Okay, so is giving instruction is known as programming. So it is very straightforward. Oops. Okay, so that is very simple. And now coming, why we need to learn the Python. So for Python, I would say there are many things that opens up when you learn the Python. If I talk about, if you have to go to the cloud computing, you have to go to the automation script implementation, you have to start web development. Everywhere Python is there, and the major part, data science, that is heavily used Python and its library. So, and they have a huge community. So when you learn the Python, that gives you an edge on all of these fields. And I would say Python is the foundation when you are learning anything. Even though AI is coding these days, vibe coding is very popular, but when you know the foundation, that will give you an edge to identify the errors, identify the flow of the code. In case you have to make changes, you will be able to know only when your foundation is strong. So foundation is going to stay even though AI is going to code. Yeah, the job is made easier now by AI, but we need to know the foundation part. So if I have to count a few advantages why Python, so I would say, if I say why Python, first is Python is very portable language. Okay, so what do I mean by portability? Portability is nothing but I would say, mm, let's say you developed a software on a Windows machine. and you deploy it on a Linux machine, or you developed on a Linux machine, you deploy it on a Mac machine. So the Python is not dependent on the OS or the type of the environment you have developed it. It can be shipped to any machine. So that is the portability part. Okay. And coming to the next advantage of Python, it has a huge, it has a big community. Okay. So Python developers are holding a very good amount of numbers, and they have a very big community. So whenever you have any issues, you get support very easily, or the development is very up to date. There are many libraries used in data science like NumPy and pandas. All these libraries are very up to date, and they are updated regularly by the community. So you don't get that issues whenever you are working with the community. So that is also an added advantage of Python. Other thing that we get along with the Python is, I would say, its flexibility. Okay, so what do I mean by flexibility? So flexibility is nothing but, I would say, uh, whenever we are working with Python, it is very easy. We don't require much of the learning curve. It is a very beginner friendly language, I would say, and we get to start very easy because it is writing like a plain English. You need to know a little bits of keywords and syntax, and you are good to go. So it provides a flexibility to the beginner. Okay. And it is used in variety of applications of software. Like, either we are developing a back-end system, we are developing a front-end system, web development, AI applications, all that Python is used heavily. Okay. And not front-end system, I would say back-end, the web development, Python is used heavily. Okay. And then what else is remaining? I guess we have covered all the points. So these are some of the advantages why should we learn the Python. Okay. So I guess this is all for this video. And in the next video, we will be actually starting with the concepts of Python, and we will be coding along with that, keeping a code oriented approach. Okay. So happy coding. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and keep watching this series. Okay. Thank you.